Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamshashanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadguru. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We salute Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the destroyer of the demons, Kamsa and Chanura, the most darling dear for Mother Devaki, the Guru of the world and the Lord of the universe. Our salutations to him again and again. So we are reading Bhagavat, and here is the chapter number 31 on page 284. Here, the mother Devahuti is asking question to Kapila, the son, and he is describing about here we are talking about the birth and death cycle of individual. So it is a Puranas are this Smriti Shastras we call, they are the expression of the Upanishads, but put in a term where ordinary people like us with stories and this and that understand the highest philosophy. Main thing is that we are entangled in the journey of life, birth and death and disease and suffering and pain and anguish. And how to get out of that? That is the major thing. But to know what we are very happy with our day-to-day life. Whatever suffering comes, little comes, okay, that I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. But when we know the seriousness of our life and really the pain and trouble through which we have already traveled till today at this age, then you'll feel disgusted with this rebirth again. Again to be born, again to suffer so much, again to go through so much pain and anguish. So here, today we'll be reading about the Jiva's cycle of births and deaths. That is the question mother put to the son, Kapila. Previously, it has been said that the person, how we are born from our destiny of our activities, good and bad, has brought us here, and we are born to experience certain what is called desires of our. So long there is desire, so long there is birth. So long there is birth, there is karma. So long karma is good and bad. It brings happiness and pleasure and pain and this and that. But the suffering, and when death comes, then what happens? That type of expression has been given. The Jamas, emissaries come and they take the soul to different places. And according to their karma, they take to the heaven or to anywhere place. And after experiencing, they are reborn again. So, lastly, we read the verse number 30th chapter, last few verses. The body which a man has nourished by exploiting and inflicting cruelty on other creatures, he will have to abandon here and go alone to hell with the wages of his sins as his sole asset. A good karma, you can go to heaven. And that's nothing bad so much. But if you do some bad karma, then there is some hellish experience. Huh? So some people do exploiting and inflicting cruelty for their own personal gain. So this type of people, after they give up, They will have to go to hell, wage of his sin as his sole asset. And what will you do? Just as a man who has been deprived of all the belongings is dazed and resigns himself to his fate without doing anything to save himself, the confirmed sinners does nothing to redress the baneful effects of his sins and fantastically succumbs to the suffering that are stored for him. That means helplessly they go to a suffering, place of suffering. If a man who lives in this world merely for supporting himself, for uh, enters into the Andhuta Misra, deep darkness, the hell of utter darkness. Then attaining again to this world, he passes to the various animal bodies, one after another, as a part of his punishment. Wow. See? So people do so much things. Where do they go? This reading this book, we get frightened, no? Oh, Baba, you did some bad karma, you have to go to hell experience, and not hell experience. Then you will have to suffer through so many insect body, uh, creature body, and helplessly suffering there. Then again you have to come back. And then you come back. That is also not so easy. You have to be born again. When you born, now we are happy. We see the baby is in the mother's womb. But what happens to the baby? If you understand, then you will never be interested to be born again in mother's womb. So that is the say. Then the attaining again to this world, he passes through various animal bodies, one after another, as a part of his punishment, until having paid for his sins. If he has done so much negative things, he will have to pay up for that at a high price, with 24% interest. Credit card, credit card loan, by cheating, by doing this and doing that. Good. Uh, he becomes very successful in the world and becomes very happy, and how much he's squeezing others and cruelty and all these things. End result, pay up 24%, 30% interest, plus sometimes maybe 70%, 80%. God knows there is endless. So, but still people do so much sinful things. So that's why he says, having paid for his sins, he is purified. All this journey, the sufferings they go to because of their own karma. We blame many people, but if we read this Kopila's instruction, Kopila is God, avatar, no? One incarnation. He says it is their suffering, their own karma. He is purified, he is then born again as another person. And now you hear what happens when we are born. We have all forgotten. The baby today in mother's womb, he may know all these things, but he is going through the experience. But he also forgets, he forgets, she forgets, everyone forgets. What terrible experience. Just I will read because there is nothing much to explain. It is the Kopila is talking about how we are born. The the Bhagavan says, Bhagavan Kopila, he says, what he says, after the expiation of his sin in hell and in animal embodiments, bad karma, scorpion, mosquito, this COVID, uh, all these bacteria, these, that, this light, that light, that light, that light. And then coming back, then again, here is after expiation of his sins in hell and in animal embodiments. Providence directs the ignorant jiva, as we are, directs, money. It's a rule. God has made a rule, no? Sun rotates, moon rotates, earth rotates. It is the rule. You cannot say anything. Atom rotates. God's providence. You are in this, you enter here, then you are in trouble. You will have to rotate. Huh? You want to escape? Then tasmat tang saradang gaccha. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita says, take refuge in me. Think of me. So those are escape. But you want to be whirling around it, go. The trap had been made for your experience. And when you go to what you call the Magic Mountain, Six Flag, so go rotate, boom, bam, boom, bam. So it is made, and you have entered. You take a seat into that. Go on. Then my head is reeling now. No escape until it stops. So this is the providence directs the ignorant jiva again to a human birth, suited to the nature of his residuary karma. He has done so much karma by sinful activity, or anyhow something is gone. And then again he has the desire, I'll be born again, because human birth is the best body. Here all the five senses are alert. The eyes can see, ears can hear. Sensitivity of person is much better than that of any animal and creature. No, that's why human life is expressed such a golden opportunity. So he again enters into a human body. How? He finds entry into a woman's womb through the seed of a man. Second verse. In one day, how this that growth, I do not know what happens. Medical science can tell, but they learn medicine, maybe, I do not know. But what they're talking over, that's a language, their language. In one day, the male or female elements are combined into one unit. It's called Kalala. Naki, Kalala. What is that? Anyhow. So it enters and it makes a small unit. In 5 days, this forms into a disc-like body called Buddha. It is a Sanskrit term. In 10 days, it becomes a hard body in the shape of a brinjal. Brinjal means what? Eggplant. Hard like eggplant. And it's called Karkura, the Sanskrit term. In 1 month, that becomes a lump called pesi. In 1 month, it develops a head. In 2 months, the rudiments of his arms and legs. In 3 months, the nails, hair, bones, skin, and genital opening. By the 4th month, it develops the 7 bodily substances like flesh, plasma, blood, muscle, fat, bone marrow, and the reproductive fluid, bhava. All these scientific term that is generating in the mother's womb gradually. Every day the baby is growing like that. And by the 5th month, hunger and thirst. In the 6th month, it is covered with a thin membrane called placenta, and its movements come to be felt on the right side of the mother. Now, due to the absorption of nutrition from mother's food, the fetus grows but finds itself in a very unpleasant place in the midst of the bodily filth, breeding worms. He now often swoons, his tender skin being bitten and wounded by hungry worms growing there. He also suffers intensely from contact of the pungent, salty, and burning substances eaten by the mother. Covered first by placenta and then by the intestines of the mother, he rests in the womb with his back, neck, and head curled up. He cannot move his limbs, as even a bird in a cage can do. By the divine will, he now remembers in this pleasant, unpleasant situation. Huh?
One question. So, when was this written? Because they didn't. Isn't this from like Vedic times or something? Like
It is the time of what is called Mahabharata. Bhagavatam will be Krishna's time.
That's so what they have.
They have knowledge.
Plasma, placenta,
Oh, they are
fetus.
the Sanskrit terms are there. They are translated to this modern language. Otherwise, the language in Sanskrit is there. I'm not reading the Sanskrit. They know in the Sanskrit language. And what science? The science is not a secret thing. It has been revealed to the Indian astronomy and others. You go, modern science is talking. They have understood much of them. So anyhow, so it is just for reading. I do not know how they got it, why they are talking like that. This book is not written yesterday. It is written. It's called the Bhagavat period, the period of Krishna's age. And it is written by historic people. Otherwise, how the writings came up. But anyhow, just to understand, I think these are indicating that how life is precious and how we look. As a monk, as a Vedantic student, I need not have to be worried about those things. But worried means careful, careful. How you pass through the suffering. If you want to go again into that birth and death, be free from desire. Realize God now and here. Free yourself. Never to enter into that cycle of birth and death like that. No? And birth is not so easy. It's a step. I do not know if this is the state. At least science also will say there is such gradual development. No? So it is all scientific. So, but we don't care for that. Who thinks about that? A baby is born, we are ha ha ha. A boy is girl, boy is born, ha ha ha. Beat your drum. In India we say conch shell. Eh? Oh, that means we got another person to suffer like us. Welcome, welcome, join our team. We are good people here. Suffering, suffering, suffering. Oh, come, come, come. And what is the price of the baby? He will have to cry. He will have to cry or she will have to cry at the point of death, birth. Otherwise, hey, it is dead. No? So they will make the baby cry. Swami Vivekananda says, do you want to find joy in this plane where your first entry into the world is the cry of tears? But we forgot. We say, ha ha ha, one baby is born, how sweet is this, how like it, how eyes is this and that. But see the condition of who is entering into the level. And we are all did that same process, but we forgot. So, he cannot move his limbs as even a bird in a cage can do. By the divine will, he now remembers all the actions he had done in his past lives. What happens? What happiness can he have in that uncomfortable place? Because Jiva is there in the body, is now gradually getting the eyes and this and that are growing gradually. But at the mind is functional and the mind thinks, remembers what he has done in the past. How he remembers, I do not know, but it says that he remembers. And how much he can enjoy that in an uncomfortable little situation in the mother's womb. His soul is suffering so much, no? Where he is made to think continuously over his acts, unable even to breathe. From the 7th month, he is conscious but cannot remain still, being pushed by the winds of the womb. Being so pushed, he wriggles like his brother worms born in the dirt of the womb along with himself. 11th verse. The frightened fetus, bound to the body by the 7 basic bodily substances. What are the basic bodily substances? As I said, plasma, blood, muscle, fat, bone, bone marrow, and reproductive fluid. These are called sapta dhatus. And every time we chant in the morning, Name Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chittani Naham Nacha Sutra Juve Nacha Grana Netre Na Bhuma Na Bhumir Na Vayu Na Tejo Dhatu. There is a word Dhatu. Dhatu means these seven of the identifiable objects, substances, and completely identified with it. Now indistinctly praises with joined hands the Lord by whose will he is in the womb. Now it's a good chance putting into that, see, being in this extreme suffering condition, he remembers his why he is here, why he is going through this suffering, and naturally, helplessly living in that condition, uncomfortable condition, he prays to God. That's good, at least there's some praise, praising God. What praises? The Jiva says. Jiva means the individual soul. The individual soul who is getting born, he now says. What he says? I seek shelter, O Lord, at the feet of you. You who assume all at all will the form of various divine incarnations and walk this earth in order to protect and redeem its inhabitants. It is by His grace alone that an iniquitous creature like myself has come to this most deserving state. Verse 13. I, the Jiva, is saying, the individual who is born in the mother's womb, that baby is saying now to the Lord, I, whose spiritual nature has been covered up by the forces of my karma, sit here bound by a body of material substances that are the product of the cosmic power. So I am helplessly sitting it here by my karma, and I, the Jiva, salute him who is pure, unchanging, and indivisible consciousness, but is nonetheless present in my distressed heart too, being the indweller in everything. I salute that supreme being who is superior to Purusha and Prakriti, soul and matter, who, unlike myself, is without a body of five elements, whose consciousness is not subject to the deluding influence of the senses and their objects engendered by Prakriti, and who is therefore of unlimited power and wisdom. That means he's praising the Lord. You are not born like us. That's why it is said. God, when God is born, he is born what is called immaculate birth, they call. So that's a special type of, they escape certain rules. But he's saying, I am ordinary jiva, I did my bad karma, and I am born here. You are all pure, you are infinite, you are birthless, you don't go through this. You have incarnated though as a God or incarnation. eh? So by your inscrutable power and wisdom. It is Maya, the power of the Lord, having karma as its binding cord, that has brought me to this state of bondage, whose innumerable woes have completely effaced the memory of my spiritual nature. So, my karma, my uh, providence, the rule of the providence has brought me here, and I have forgotten my spiritual nature. There is no other way for me to regain my spiritual status except by your grace. That's a good thing, at least there, that here's the awakening of this much, that I am here suffering, O Lord, and I am in bondage, no? So you are the Redeemer. That idea is coming. It is the Lord by whom the whole universe is pervaded that has given me the memory of my past. God, at least you are gracious that you have given me the memory of the past. I can think who I was in other life, what karma I did, why I am in suffering. But I am the eternally blissful soul, no? Not under the sway of any, because my desire has brought my karma, karma has brought my further work, work has created further problems, and I am here bound in this condition. So it is the Lord by whom the whole universe is pervaded, and that has given me the memory of my past, present, and future. I pray in adoration of that being for relief from the suffering arising from my entanglement in karma as jiva. So, as a jiva, I have been tied down into the karma and the suffering because of that. I am lying in the cavity of another body, covered with bodily fluids and tortured by the heat generated in it. Very much distressed in mind, I am counting the days before I shall be released from here. O Lord, when shall that day of release come? The baby in the womb, feeling that situation, uncomfortable, recalling his past karmas, why he or she is there, and then start praying like that and praying, Oh Lord, how quickly shall I get out of this difficult situation? Just imagine is a soul to live in that small place in mother's womb under such pressure and situation. What a terrible condition. But we forgot, we are happy. We never think that, am I doing such sufficient karma so that I will never be there again? So I am counting the days, O Lord, before I shall be released from here. When shall that day of release will come? O Lord, you have, out of your infinite mercy, bestowed on me in my 10th month an awareness of my situation. So this awareness comes, as you understand, in the end of the, just before release. So prayer is going on. So at the 10th month, the satisfaction of having done such a gracious act is the only offering that you, the most merciful one, can get in return from me. For a humble jiva, as like I am, in entanglement that I am, I can offer nothing in return except my repeated salutation, O Lord. Please help me. Other individual beings, jivas, like animals, in my predicament, are aware only of their bodily instincts, joys, and discomfort. But by virtue of the higher understanding given to me, I am naturally conscious of moral values like self control and the like, and I am aware of that ancient being within my heart and without. Just I am aware of the physical body centering on my I-ness. I am encircled as it is physically. I mentally also I remember I belong to you. You are the Lord. eh? You are, O Lord, 20th verse. O Lord, though my stay in the womb is very uncomfortable, I do not wish to come out of it into the pit of entrampment that the world outside is. So I don't want to come out into another delusion. It is already I'm suffering here. But I don't want to come out from the womb into the pit of entrapment in the world outside. For when I am out, I shall not have the present consciousness. That is true. When the baby is born, does he remember anything? All these prayers, I do not know. Did he do all the prayers in our life? I do not know. Anyhow, something going on. I shall not have the present consciousness, but be overcome again by identification with the body and all the entanglements of samsara that it follows. No, I'll forget everything. As we are, when we are in deep difficulty, that time we call, oh Lord, why? Please help me, please help me. And if that little relaxation comes, that problem goes away, I forget and I get in. Again mixed with the dancing and singing of the word, ha ha, hoo hoo. And my friend, my this, my party, my this. Uh, how many days go with the party and dancing and singing? And they forget that this type of thing happened to my life, and I passed through those. They've forgotten how many sufferings we forget. That's why it is called uh, bhranti rupena samastita. Ya Devi sarvabhutesu, that mother who resides in everyone as bhranti. Bhranti means delusion. Bhranti means forgetfulness. I forgot. Most of the thing we forget. If we remember our sufferings, then we'll be liberated now. Baba, I don't want to go through that suffering anymore. No? But that's the extreme moment. A momentary renunciation comes. But that is not real renunciation. So, as there is thus the chance of my losing spiritual consciousness on being freed after birth from my present suffering, I shall in every way make a conscious endeavor to prevent the recurrence of my future births in numerous wombs by the remembrance of the Supreme Being, who is the friend and well wisher of all, becoming a devotee of the Lord and worshipping Him holy feet, His holy feet. May I never again have physical embodiment. So that type of intense desire will come. Sohang vasannapi viho bahudukhavasam garbhat no nirjigimise bahirandhakupe. In the dark, deep darkness of the outside, when I come out of this, yeah, sohang viho bahudukho vasam garbhat. Though it is a dukkhavas, I am experiencing this utmost suffering in the womb of mother, but nirjigamishe bahirandhakupe. I don't want to get out into the deep darkness outside, in the outside world. Jatru upayat uposarpati deva maya mitha matiri jadanu sangsiti chakrameta tasmat aham vigata bil kilmisha uddharisha. Therefore, O Lord, please rescue me. Why is the translation? The Sanskrit is some. If we have time, then we could enjoy the Sanskrit. There's a, he says, Tasmad aham bigata kalmasa, bigato biklava uddharisha. Please rescue me. Atmanam ashu tamashaha, from this immediate, imminent darkness in which I am entering. You are my friend, you are my everything. Bhuyo yatha vyasanam etad aneka randhang mang me bhavishyad uposadito Vishnupad. So that I pray to you, the Lord of the universe, the Vishnu Narayan at your feet. Kopila then said, again, in the 10th month, now he's in this, it is a journey, no? In the 10th month, that awareness comes. Whether it comes, I do not know. The scripture is saying. So we believe, probably everyone remembers, every one of us have remembered in the mother's womb, in the 10th month, and prayed to the Lord, oh Lord, I am very tormented here. Please, I don't want to enter into another entanglement in the world. No? So please help me. I take refuge at your feet, O Lord. That's why the babies are like this, or I do not know. Keep their hand like this. So 10th month. Now Kopila continues. He says, in the 10th month, the fetus in the womb, who has made the above resolution, this soul in the baby, who has made this above resolution and has been engaged in the contemplation of the praise of Lord. It's so good that he is now praying to God. Please, I don't want to be in the deep darkness. Please rescue me. You are the Lord of the world. You please hold me like that. What happens? He is pushed out of the womb, head downwards, into the world by the uterine contractions. Being thus pushed forcefully, he comes out with great difficulty, senseless, breathless, and deprived of memory. Bas. All this prayer and things, memory, gone. And he falls into deep this shock of breathlessness and all these things. A pure baby, what happens when to come out of mother's womb is not a matter of joke. 24th verse. Cast amidst blood and urine on the floor, he writhes therein like an intestinal wound, having lost his spiritual consciousness and being overcome by the body and senses, he cries out loud. First thing, identifying with the body's pain and suffering, he baby cries out. He is nourished by people who do not understand his needs. Everyone serves the baby, no? But they do not know what actually is why the baby is crying, what the need is there. Because he cannot speak out anything. No language has come out. And he himself is incapable of expressing his disappointments when he is dealt it in a way of the way the baby is dealt this way, that way. His discomfort, he cannot say anything. Neither those who are with utmost love caring the baby, they don't know also. Am I hurting? And am I touching this side, that side? They see the baby's little head is like, you do not know, Mama. Hold the head. Whether it is this way or that way, it is breaking or who knows. The baby cannot say, neither the mom or the first mothers who are giving first birth to the what they know. So that's why neither he can express, neither those who are lovingly nursing him, they also don't understand his problems. Unable to sit up or move or even to scratch, he has to lie on unclean bed full of sweat-borne insects. It's not sophisticated hospitals like that. In early days, babies used to born in their home, midwife used to come to the house, and that areas were not always very clean and pure, no? So probably that is the idea. A worm attack worms. These insects and mosquitoes puncture his tender skin. Passing through such suffering of infancy and childhood, he gradually enters into the stage of youth. But so suffering, not knowing anything, neither of the world, neither of his needs, cannot say something, and little words comes and tries to walk. How many times falling down, hurts and crying, breaking their arms, hitting in the back, and all these mosquitoes and this and that biting. He has no sense to bite like that to remove. But anyhow, he grows. So it's infancy period to childhood period gradually entered into the stage of youthfulness, by which time the body consciousness has been firmly established. Now I know I am the body. That's why the child are trained to teach body consciousness. Hey, this is called nose, your nose. This is the eyes, this is ears, and we learn like that. That's why every one of us say, our nose, this is eyes. So we become aware, identify with the body. And body consciousness is firmly established. Unable to satisfy all his desires, he is provoked to anger all those standing in his way without knowing that it is his own karma that is responsible for his enjoyments and sufferings. You see the children, babies, That baby, you ask him, give him some toy and this and that, he does not like it. He may looking that he needs something that time, but we do not know. We think that we are pleasing him, and he or she takes it sometimes through there, sometimes dislikes to resentment and anger and frustration and crying and weeping, and the mom will give a few stroke. Hey, doing this, doing that. That should not be done. So we are helplessly. However, it's a, it's a, it's a realistic picture. Though it is very grim, we are reading in one page, one after another, all these descriptions. But it is really, in early days, they used to feed some, what you call, um, kalmek, what, some
Neem kind of.
neem, some sour or no, not sour,
Bitter.
bitter, some bitter things putting in the mouth. Oh, who cares? What is liking, disliking is not the question. You will be trained into the system of the world, no? So, and he is angry, and he becomes angry because he's searching something, he wants something. No one is giving. All are standing around. So those standing in his way without knowing that they are not the cause. I am the cause. My karma has brought me here, huh? In this family, in these circumstances. No, all children are not born in the same atmosphere. No, the child is baby is born. Huh? Some in a happy family, some is unhappy family. Somewhere you go, there is a sufficient things what babies needs are the predominant. But somewhere not. Not to blame anyone. It is your own karma which is giving this idea. So here they continues, verse number 31, 30th is continuing that it is his own karma that is responsible for the enjoyments and the suffering. Anything good time, bad time, it is the karma of that person. His pride and pugnacity keep peace with the growth of his body, and he comes into violent conflicts with his competitors with disastrous results from both. As you compete, no, you go to the school, you'll have to be good result, compete with your friend, play, go. You should have to get the good player over other players, no? So every field of life, competition. School, in college, in your day-to-day life, your singing, music world, your dancing world, any world you go, is always competition. Where will you think of God? That's why then we don't get any time to think of God. That's why even if we say now, a boy wants to be a monk or to think that, no, you study well, finish your study. Because duty, do. Oh, do all this duty, but not to know who you are, why suffering, what is the cause of your suffering, who has caused this suffering, how can you get out of this suffering? All they forget and they get into the body idea and body identity, reaction, all the reactions out of that. Now, 31st verse, the ignorant man is firmly established in false sense of identification with the physical body and growing intensely attached to it comes to think I and mine in the physical terms. So gradually, identification come. There's no identification much in mother's womb, only feeling, total feeling. But now it is my feeling. I want money. I want this, and this is mine, and this is me. This is mine. Now that grows physically strong. The body is in itself the cause of misery. Yet to support it, people perform still more actions and thus compound their involvement in the cycle of birth and death. So far, so it is not a good picture. That's why these type of book people don't read much. Uh, Now, causes of degradation, verse number 32 on page 288. By following the path of evil ones, which consists in the pursuit of demands of the stomach and sex organ, the jiva prepares himself for the life of hell once again. There is here it says following the path of evil, not talking about good householder. This is not for them. It's talking about those people who are evil people in the world. What they want. Ramakrishna has coined. What is the world? Kama kanchana. Desire, lust, and money and wealth. The whole world is fighting only on two grounds. And those who try to come out, they say, oh, they are holy people, they are spiritual people. They are no, isn't that? The whole world is going for these two things. Ramakrishna's coined. Kama kanchana, lust and greed. And if one does not go in that path, he is called a spiritual person, renouncing person, detaching person. So now, by following the path of evil, it is very easy to get caught into the whirlpool of this world where immediate things are available. We are talking about immediate things, immediate food, immediate seeing something, immediate tasting, immediate touching. That gives the intense joy. And it is very easy to get into that path, right or wrong, following right and wrong direction. So by following the path of evil, evil ones, that consists in the pursuit of the demands of the stomach and sex, the jiva prepares himself for the life of hell once again in the same rut. The jiva loses all good and noble spiritual endowments like truth, purity, kindliness, restraint in speech, intelligence, attractiveness, modesty, reputation, patience, sense control, mind control, and the rest. By close contact and association with evil minded men who are tossed about by passion, devoid of discrimination, obsessed with the body consciousness, and behave like the mere pet animals of their women folk. Association with such person is therefore forbidden. That's why Hindu religion will not allow you to do any go outside. Say already he has said given 12 qualities. 12 qualities not to go into the whirlpool of that old rut of rebirth again. He says the jiva loses if you go to the evil association. That's why in the Bhakti Shastra or in any scripture it is said, avoid evil company. Asat, asat sangastu, asat sanga, sarvadeva tajya. Narada Bhakti Sutra. Narada Bhakti Sutra, the Narada's way of love, teaches us the verse, what is called Dussanga, evil association, sarvatha eva tajya. You have to renounce, you have to give up. Why that people say, you are bad, you are judging people, you are judging people. I go and mix with everyone. Yes, you can go and mix with everyone when you are strong enough that you don't lose your own spirituality. But when you are weak yourself, you want and go to show friendship, you will be swallowed into it. That's why evil association must be shunned by a true speaker of spirituality. Not to be born again. First point, avoid evil company. Who are evil? Those the good and noble spiritual endowment, who like they are avoid of, they don't say the truth, they don't care for purity, they have no kindness in their heart, they have no restraint in their speech. Whatever comes, they want to say, good or bad. Lack of intelligence.
So whatever is coming in your mind, you are saying, it is a good quality. Why is it bad?
Whatever.
Mind and mouth are the same.
amount, but then other qualities should be added with it. Only telling whatever comes in your mind restlessly, that means you have no self-control. You take whatever you want to say. And if someone says to you, can you withstand that? No. If someone tells me the same way, whatever comes in their mind, will you be able to tolerate that? No. But I can say, well, I am truthful. But truthfulness, that truthfulness should corroborate with other qualities: kindness, love, compassion, purity, holiness, no? Intelligence, uh, modesty, reputation, patience, sense control, mind control, and all. So these are the things. So it should be holistic. And these people who are devoid of any discrimination, who is devoid of any passionate attraction, uh, who is obsessed with the body consciousness, these are the people behave like the mere pet animals of their, and they become the slave of the lust. Don't follow those people. Don't keep. Uh, that's why Ramakrishna said in the whole gospel, read what he's emphasizing: satsanga, satsanga. Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Nirjan Vas. Go to the solitude, analyze what the intricate working of the mind, and holy company. Holy company, think of God, or go to read some books, that's also holy company. Listen to some holy talks, that's also holy company. Wherever your mind becomes holy, associate with that and avoid those things which makes us forget about God. That's why we go to the temple, we go to the pilgrimage, places of pilgrimage. Why? There you come here, it will remind you of God. You go to the Hollywood Boulevard and move in the street. What will you see? All the things which they are available, our mind gets distracted in those things. It is not the question of good or bad. You are distracted, you are not thinking of God. Simple formula. You think of God, which you involves in your life great qualities, and if it's not, so therefore association with such person is therefore forbidden. That is the verse number 34. Teshu ashanteshu mudhesu khondito atma sasadhusu sangam nakurjat sochesu josit krida mrigesu cha. Therefore, though there may be many kinds of associations that can cause spiritual degeneration, there is none that can infatuate and bind the mind of man so powerfully as sensual association with the opposite sex, with people who are engrossed in their sexual charms. It is said that even Prajapati, the Lord God creator, charmed by an offspring of his, pursued her shamelessly in the form of a stag, as she was run away from him in the shape of a female deer. Among the creations of the offsprings of his Prajapati, that is, among all the embodied beings, consisting of gods, men, and other species of being, who is there escape Rishi Narayana, another incarnation, that can stand the onslaught of the Maya in the shape of lust. Behold the power of my Maya in the shape of lust. It subjugates even the world's conquerors by a mere movement of the eyebrows. Those who, by holy contact, are established in the path of the Atman and who want to attain to the ultimate goal of spiritual striving should not have association with these uh, these lustful areas, but they are said to be the gateway to hell for men. An aspirant should consider the approach of the service of this Maya devised by Creator, as well camouflaged with green grass, liable to bring him immediate death if walked over without knowing the hidden danger. That means This scripture is always warning. Don't go to bad association, unholy association. Because if you go that, then you will be trapped into that condition. And they have a deep attraction and pull for that. And our mind is also, our mind is naturally goes for the immediate things. So where these people, this association, try to avoid, and keep in otherwise satsangastu durlava. That's why Narada says, better you do holy association, noble association, associate with people of high character, uh, and then your spiritual journey will be much easier. So we end here, verse number 40. We'll start 41 next time. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. So we ended book number 3, chapter 31, verse number 40. So we'll be reading from 41 next month. Should I desire to be born again and again to do Sri Ramakrishna's work and to see his lila unfold here, just like Ravana's mother? Yeah, that's a good idea. Yes, when you are a devotee and you have loved God and you become identified with God, and you are born for a different purpose. You are born for the good of the humanity. So that's a different. Is that they are called two types of people go to the jail. One, the who have committed some blunder, he is put into the jail. Also, jail superintendent also enters into the jail. But jail superintendent enters for a different purpose, and he has the freedom to enter, get out immediately whenever he likes. But the prisoner has no freedom. So, though they are seem to be in the world, a Gyani and a person who is in ignorance, they look alike, but their purpose is different. So no, it is Swami Vivekananda said, I will be born again and again. Swami Ranganathananda Swami said, I will have to be born again once time, no? To preach Swamiji's words in the world for the good of humanity. Second point, as a householder wanting to renounce Kama Kanchan, I understand that to mean celibacy and also seeing all money as God's money. Yes, is it correct? Right. To be in the world, to lie for householder, where renouncing means, Kama Kanchana means, understand that to mean celibacy, then seeing celibacy means loving relationship with the spouse as also earning money and enjoying in positive way. Another question, because our senses look outward, we tend to blame others rather than ourselves for suffering. It's a statement. Yes, because our senses are outside, so I think it is you did this for me. But we do not look at our own side because mind is always seeing the outside. So impure mind always puts the blame on others. Pure mind will be analyzing why it is happening to me. Why among 7.5, now what is the billion, how many billion? 8 billion. Why among 8 billion people I fall into this trouble? Because of you. Because of you, why not the others? That means they look back into their own life and say, it is my doing. I have done something sometime. That's the karma theory of Hinduism and Buddhism. They put all this, they take the responsibility on their own shoulder. They say, my suffering is because of me. I have created sometime conscious or unconscious some things which I am paying back. I have had a good credit area and I have loaned so many thousands. Now I am repaying my loan. Repaying is always painful. Spending is very easy. People go with a simple card, no, and purchase so many things, one after another. They say, okay, okay, go, 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 go. When you purchase, that's easy. When you pay back, then it is difficult. Oh, because it takes with interest. The world always charges high interest rate. Tejas is asking, sorry. How can we reconcile avoiding evil with Holy Mother's instruction to not to see fault in others? As I said again and again, question is that how can we reconcile avoiding evil? Avoiding evil means, yes, Mother does not say, our Holy Mother didn't say, go and make friendship with the addicted people, go for the drug people, go for them, because they are all holy. No. They say that yes, God is everywhere. Look at their other part. But don't, you are not fit to mix and help them. Rather, you will be drowned. Understand your strength. Ramakrishna said, on the river, many dry wood are floating. There will be a big lumber which is so strong it can hold you. You can ride over it and people can walk on it. But there are very light pieces of wood. You catch it, it sinks. That means you should be sufficiently strong to go to an association and improve their quality and your quality also. If you go to any place, you go with good money in your pocket to do charity. But if you have no money in your pocket, don't think that you are going to do charity. That is the problem of the young people. Most of the young people think they will change the whole world. How will you change the whole world without changing yourself? First, you be an example. First, you be a Buddha. Then you can redeem others. First, you be like Christ like. Then you can help others. Help the sinners and everyone, what it was so called. But you yourself are not strong enough to keep your spirituality. So you should have to judge this way, not as thinking bad or good, but it is not congenial for my spiritual growth. What we have to do, we have to avoid meeting the people as this is unholy association. How? Let them do. I am not objecting to that. But my association will make my mind drown. So I don't want to pay this price unnecessarily. While I'm struggling to do meditate and pray and read and do all these things to raise my spiritual consciousness, why I shall lose my spirituality by showing some compassion and drown myself there. So that is the major point is that can be reconciled in this way that Holy Mother says, don't see the faults. Yes, don't see unnecessary fault in others. Anything good, appreciate that. Every person has some good side, maybe some negative side. We are all. So you will have to practice that life. We have to praise the positive side of it. Positive side and positive side. But there will be some negative. But you going with them, mixing with them, if you can keep your sanity, then it's okay. But you have to see fault. So long in the level of organ, this good and bad you have to understand. Bad will result in bad, good will take you to good. So therefore, we should see what is bad. Otherwise, how shall we be pure? If you don't know it is impure, how will you be pure? If it is not, you don't know it is bad food versus good food, then how will you come to good food? You'll be always mistakenly eating the food which is junk food, which is not good for the health, but you'll think that it is good. So this is the reason we should see the negative side in one and it is non-spiritual side of it. Least I get involved into it and I drown myself. That's why I see that and avoid that. See that, avoid that. That is the point. Not to hate anyone. That's why there is a saying, hate the sin, not the sinner. Can you not do that? You can see that there is some sin. The person is now did something which is bad. We call sin. He is doing something good. He is a holy. That means the person remaining same. Holiness or impure or pure things can be conducted by him or her. So we are to associate with such where my spirituality is encouraged, the spirituality grows, and should avoid where our mind gets drowned into more worldliness and ignorance. So that is the idea. We should see fault to correct ourselves, not to correct others. To avoid that and to develop noble character in us. For that reason, we should see what is going on. Otherwise, it will be overwhelmingly foolish choice. Without checking the thing, you jump into it. So that should not be practiced. Okay, thank you. We'll see you in the 7:30 p.m. in our Santi Gita class.
Also, we announce that if they have trouble swimming in Vedanta or then they should visit Voice of Vedanta.
Acha. If you find all of you any difficulty in listening our streaming, then you can check on vedanto.org. No, the vedanto.what?
If you have youtube.com at Voice of Vedanta.
Voice of Vedanta. You come to Voice of Vedanta. Because Voice of Vedanta is that what I am now, this small, this here is going on. It's parallel.
If you have Vedanta or has problem.
If you have listening some problem or anything trouble, then listen to Voice of Vedanta. YouTube, same YouTube. You can Voice of Vedanta instead of Vedanta.org. I think that Vedanta.org did well, but if it is any trouble, this is for your knowledge that you can come. Also, they say the same thing, Voice of Vedanta. Okay, thank you. We'll see you at 7:30 in the Santi Gita class.